Hello everyone, I0386SX, and what you are looking at today, at least in my personal opinion, is one of the more confusing computer lines that Compaq has ever released. Before I go into what this computer has and what it doesn't have, there's a little context on that confusing part you probably need to know in order to better understand why this is confusing. Generally, Compaq has released lines of computers that are exclusive to desktops, laptops, servers, and their brief stint in the tablet market. So what does that mean? Like in the laptop world or portable world, we'll go back to the portable world, they had Compaq Portable 1, 2, and 3, which were meant to be portable, thus the portable name. Then you had the SLT, after that you had the LTE, the Contura and the Armada got mixed into there shortly after all of that. So that's the real brief history on laptops, but that's all business grade laptops from Compaq. And the desktop line, and I may be missing a few here, the Desk Pro was the main desktop line for businesses from 1984 to the early 2000s. You had the Prosignia line in there in the early 90s, mid 90s. I have a video on my very first computer was a Compaq Prosignia. I'm not sure where that fits into the timeline exactly, if that was supposed to be a more inexpensive alternative to the Desk Pro or what the deal behind that was. But again, it was an exclusive desktop line from Compaq, the business grade machines. Now, there is one little exception, which would be the Compaq Able. It's exclusive to business, but they did both desktops and laptops very late into their existence in the early 2000s. Then you have the Presario, which is the home line of computers. They did both desktops and laptops. I don't know when they came on, when the first ones rolled off the assembly line were available for general sale to the public, but not important. And then we get to the server side, which Compaq first started doing in 1989 with the System Pro. Base price, $15,000, maybe even closer to 16. And the highest end one could be obtained for a cool $51,000. This is 1989 prices, so that would, I don't know what that is in inflation, but I'm sure that's almost double that by now. Well, anyway, so Compaq did those for a few years, and then 1992 rolled along, and Compaq split the server line. They had the Proliant name, which if you're ever dabbled in the server market, you'll know that name still exists today. And it went through Compaq for a while, and then HP took it when they bought Compaq, and then in October 2015, when Hewlett-Packard Enterprise came about, they took the server name and continued it there. So, very good computer line. I've had quite a few of those and still have a Gen 9 to this day. But that leaves the Prosignia. And you are clearly staring at a Prosignia laptop. But this was a very short-lived line. I actually think this is an afterthought. The Prosignia line in 1992 was basically a desktop with server hardware. You'd get a RAID controller and SCSI drives, and you may have some extra networking involved, and you have a bigger tower. I think in today's world, if the Prosignia still existed, they would be called a workstation. So maybe this is a workstation grade laptop. I don't know. I had one in the mid 2000s. I bought this one for 5 times the price of that one, and I still got this one quite cheap. So, but I don't remember all the specs on it. So we're gonna be investigating this one together. Now, I'm going to try to take this off we'll see where this fits in the timeline, if this is just a confusing name, or if it's a little bit better than, say, the Armada series, if it's a high-end Armada type laptop. Alright, that one is about as good as smooth as mud. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit more. If you're very good with your Compaq names, you'll notice that it looks very similar to another computer Compaq made that is far more common than this 150. if you correctly guessed it, it's the Presario 1200. There's a lot of Presario 1200s that look just like this. In fact, the hard drive caddies, I know for a fact, are identical. And in case we don't open this laptop up, this is a hard drive caddy for a Presario 1200 or a Prosignia 150. This is not the original drive to it, but it's one I used because it was convenient. So anywho, let's go take a look at this computer. Got your standard keyboard, and you have power, battery, AC adapter, nub lock, caps lock, and scroll lock. And you have buttons that launch various programs. They call that quick launch, I believe. Left click, right click. One thing to note, there is not a hard drive LED on this model. Going to the left of the machine, you have your 3.5-inch floppy. You have a punch out for a NIC. This one did not equip with it, so I don't know how. Well, we got company here. 2 PCM CIA slots. Let's turn the back of this thing. And this thing is very rough looking, as you can tell. We have a severely broken hinge. And we're missing pieces, but I did get this for cheap. Modem, a PS2 for keyboard or mouse, or if you have the adapters, I'm sure. Parallel, and VGA. You have a big fan here. And you got what I assume is for a docking station. Serial, Kensington lock, 1 USB, and the power. And like I said, if you find a power brick for a Presario 1200, I believe this will work just fine for that. And just to get the back side of it, although it is upside down, you can see it's a Prosignia. Doesn't show in the camera though. And now, on the right side, you don't have much. You have a CD-ROM. Can be upgraded to a DVD-ROM or a burner. And the battery would be right here. So let me get this thing squared back away, and let's see if this thing will even turn on. Alright, so I don't know if the camera was rolling the entire time or not, but did find out a couple things. The computer actually ticked when this battery was in and prevented the machine from turning on. So I took that out. It did power on, but nothing was on the screen, but it did eventually beep. So now we're going to try and get this thing connected via VGA external monitor. We'll keep both machines in the background to start. And, power it up. Maybe I unplugged it by mistake. Alright, try it again. And nothing on that screen either. Well, the monitor thinks there is no VGA cable when there clearly is. I don't think there's a hard drive in the machine. So, we shall put one in. With the magic of video editing, that'll take no time at all. Okie dokie, let's try again. Okay, about 50-50 shot this thing's gonna do anything, 50-50 not. There is a little bit of a potential silver lining. This disk drive looks like it's the same one, maybe the same one used in the LTE 5000 series. Now, but I have to match up the part numbers to be sure. Uh-oh. Well, folks, I think this is not going to be a successful one. That drive may be wiped. Check my connections on the monitor again, but this ain't looking good. Okay, user error is a terrible thing to waste. There we go. Look at that primary master, ain't that amazing? It's gibberish. Let's see, let's give this thing one more. Maybe the firmware got zapped on this thing. Okay, so that does tell us something. Alright, let's try that again, because I think we found something valuable here. Fortunately, this keyboard is not got a control button on the right for some reason. Damn it. Okay. One more time. I gotta get that BIOS set up. Okay, third time's the charm. We're just going to go straight to BIOS here. I think the CMOS battery is absolutely a goner in this thing. Well, whatever. So, let's see what we could do. It is 9:24 a.m. It is June 21st. 2021 right now, and a few things we can find out from the BIOS. We have the primary master, I don't know what the hell that is, no primary slave, Toshiba CD-ROM, 64 megs of RAM, and this won't tell us what we have in there for a processor. Oh yeah, AMD K6-2350. So this is a 350 megahertz AMD processor, and that's part of the reason why I kind of wanted to forget about these machines. So let me see what I could do about this, as I thought this hard drive was still good when I powered it up a few days ago, but maybe it isn't. And I'd like to get an operating system on here just to show you what we got going on hardware-wise. But I don't know if that's going to be possible, but this one's going to take a while, so I am going to stop this part of it, and then once I'm ready to go, then we can continue on. That's more like it. Let's see if we can get it to boot. I did have to play with the IDE cable in this machine a little bit, so maybe there's something that's jarred loose in there. I don't know. It's booting something now. Windows 98. And we are designed for Windows 98. It does have an ESS PCI card in it. If we can shut the lid a little bit, there we go. And, well, not overly worried about time, but we'll make sure it's right. So it works. Absolutely next to nothing on this machine. And I don't have the driver installed for those 4 buttons. Well, let's see what the hardware is. So we got Toshiba CD-ROM. Display adapters. This is what I'm very interested in. It has a Rage LT Pro AGP2X. So I don't know if that's exactly good or not, or back in the day. See if we can get a little bit more information on this. And let's pop it up to 32. We'll probably need a restart to do that. Oh, it's going to allow me to do that. Cool. See if it tells us anything. Not much more there. I thought it'd tell us a little bit more than that. Trying to do this one-handed is probably not the best of ideas, but it's an idea, right? But either way, that's your graphics card. I don't know if the floppy works in this machine, but I don't imagine that it wouldn't unless there's something physically stuck in there. Standard floppy. Never even heard of that company. Modem is a 56K. monitors, what I dial-up adapter, Texas Instruments, PCM, CIA, ESS Solo, PCI, and there is some DOS emulation, so I don't know how good that's going to be for DOS or not, but maybe. And an ALI PCI to USB host controller. I don't actually have the drivers to make a flash drive work on this thing at the moment, but we can determine if I could find a flash drive. We can see if at least the USB port will work. And that's almost witchcraft. We got it in on the second try. And it does look for a flash drive, so I'm going to say that the USB port actually does work fine on this machine. So while we're poking around, let's see what else is installed on here, if anything. Very little. Standard Windows 98 stuff, wireless B notebook adapter, and a Roxio Easy CD Creator 5. So my guess is at one point I did have some kind of CD burner in the last machine. It does have some Compaq software on it, so I might have to stop and before I go too much further with this drive. I wonder if there's anything of value on here. Oh, excellent. This tells us everything we need to know about the machine. And I actually was a little bit off. This is how little I know about AMD stuff back in the day. Is that this is a 380 megahertz processor. If the base log, okay, who knows? Well, I see 350 on one screen, 380 on the left, so I have no idea what to make of that. If we could scroll down, and this is an 8 megabyte graphics card. My Compaq Armada M700 had the same exact graphics card size, so maybe that was a little bit more better for its time. And according total compact memory 96 megabytes, and I see one that says 64. So let's see what the machine thinks it has. This is getting weird about a second here. Yeah, this says 64, and if I'm not mistaken from my history lesson, and I'm doing this entirely by memory, this had 32 non-removable ESS sound card. Goes into great detail about that ESS sound card, but Lucent modem. There's a joystick port on it. I didn't see that. Let's see what else I put on this drive. And don't worry, it's my stuff, so I can I can do whatever I want. Oh, and we got Prosignia drivers on here. Yes, we do. So in case, I may just want to archive this stuff in case somebody actually does have this laptop and they're looking to restore it. I'll get you some drivers. I don't have any games to put on here either. I didn't know what to expect with this. Unfortunately, the screen is shot, or at least disconnected in some capacity, so I'll have to look at that. But other than, it's a very cheap AMD laptop. Nothing special.